Hello YouTube, it's Atticus. How we all doing? Hope you're all fine. I am back with you with a Chaos game. So yeah, guys, been really enjoying Chaos lately. Been having a lot of fun with them. Really heavy metal. Yeah, and this one's a versus Greenskins. So I haven't had a Greenskin match in an age either. It's been a long time. So I figured this would just be a fresh breath of new armies and battles for us that we haven't had in a while. So let's go ahead and jump into the builds, guys. So for my build here, you can see, for my Lord, we have the Chaos Lord. So yeah, the Chaos Lord is pretty cool. I do like him. He has some pretty cool abilities. He has one that will give him poison. I think it's called Blessed by Filth, or excuse me, the Pendant of Slanesh, which gives plus 44 to melee attack and more speed. And he also has one called, Filth Mace, there it is, which will give him terror, more weapon damage, and poison. So he's just a really powerful combatant. I mean, 80 armor, 490 weapon strength. You put him up on that Manticore, he's just going to be a beast. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, and he's pretty cost effective. He's pretty cheap. Will allow you to go a little bit more wider on your army, which I feel is important against the Greenskins. For my front line guys, and I've actually tried this on several different games, and it works, is using a front line of aspiring champions. So yeah, you might be thinking like, wow, that's not going to work since there's so little model counts, but these guys are so powerful that they can actually shred through most of the Greenskin army. I mean, for one, they have a crap load of armor, 120. They have silver shields, magic damage to bypass physical resist, awesome combat stats, and they give encouragement, to troops around them. So yeah, I find that these guys are plenty sufficient. I mean, this could work versus Skaven. They work really good versus Greenskin, and pretty much any other armies. Like, I really think the aspiring champions, and I've never tried them that way. I've always used them in support, but yeah, I'm starting to realize that these guys can actually hold their own. And I mean, yeah, it's kind of a niche build. It's kind of a unique build. I mean, I don't know if it would work all the time, but we'll see how it works this match. For my secondary line guys, for the real damage dealing parts of my army though, I have two units of Chaos Trolls, armored ones. So yeah, Greenskins, unless they have Black Orcs and things like that, they're going to be really struggling with trying to get some armor piercing. And you can see, guys, I also have the weird spawn, and these guys, of course, are going to have their armor sundering. So yeah, I mean, we have the one guys to hold them in place, and then we got the big monstrous units in the back to really stomp them. And the armor sundering of these guys will help the aspiring champions do that much better in combat. You can see, guys, we also have a unit of Marauder Horsemen, and these guys are obviously going to be trying to screen out these Goblin Wolf Archers. I actually have more than just one unit. Over here, I have a second unit. I believe I have three altogether. Yeah, and I had one here in the back just in case my opponent, tried to deep Vanguard and try to do some shenanigans. So we have three of them in total. These guys are going to be trying to counter the Goblin Wolf Riders, the Spider Riders, and things like that. Also, guys, for my anti-large contingent, I have a unit of Dragon Ogres. So yeah, these are not the Regent of Renown one, but yeah, these guys are still really powerful, and they'll be able to deal with pretty much anything the Greenskins could throw at me. The Arachnid Spider, the Orc, Savage Orcs, or whatever it is. Also, guys, we have the Soul of Damnation. The Chaos Dwarfs here are joining the fight, and you can see that I debugged the camera, so now we can zoom in and actually look at the models and see them in all their glory. So yeah, that's my build, guys. Really cool, really different kind of build, but we're gonna see how it goes. As long as I can protect the Soul of Damnation, we should be able to do a lot of damage to these Greenskins. So, speaking of the Green Menace, let's look at what my opponent brought here. So, for his Lord, guys, we do have... Where's he at? Warzog. So, is he up on his Hog? Yep, we have Warzog up on his Hog. Very competitive pick. He's going to be up on the on his Warthog or whatever. Opponent also has a front line consisting of some goblins. We have some orc boys, some more orc biggins, and then we have a secondary line of orc arrow boys. We have some black orcs, two units of black orcs. So yeah, really heavy armor piercing. These guys are immune to psychology too, so they're not going to be terror routing, I do believe. And then yeah, some more orc big boys, and then we have another unit of archers. So a little bit of everything. And then also, guys, he has the mighty Arachnid Spider, Arachnid Queen. So he's going to have access to the spider summons to try to bog down my units. For his Cav contingent, guys, you can see, I forgot to mention, he does have a unit of Nasty Skulkers, and these guys are great with their armor piercing. These guys are really powerful, really a nuisance to have to deal with. They can really bog down Cav. They can deal with monsters. They'll be really good against aspiring champions. And yeah, they're pretty cost effective. Opponent also has a couple units of Goblin Wolf Riders. And yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So really Death Starry kind of green skin build. You can see that what I'm trying to do is focus down his archers. I was expecting him to have the rusty arrows. So yeah, I figured I might as well try to... he does have the rusty arrows, speaking of which. So yeah, these guys are obviously going to be the thing I want to shoot the most with the Hell Cannon. But they do have stalk, so I'm not going to see them until they're actually in battle. So... right off the bat, as Jon Snow said to Samwise Tully, The armies are going to be marching up, guys. You can see I have a pretty spread out defense right here. I am going to start using my Marauder Horsemen to try to screen out these guys, and you can see the Aspiring Champions as well. I'm going to try to see if this guy had any skirmish on, because if he doesn't, then, yeah, I figure I get a little bit of early damage. And you can see we are going to start screening those guys out, and that's going to work really good for me. It's going to keep those guys from, getting into the Dragon Ogres of the Soul of Damnation. You can see the Soul of Damnation, speaking of which, is going to start opening up, but it is missing, so that's really unfortunate. But I do use one of the abilities of the Soul of Damnation, which gives it more splash damage, or more armor-piercing damage. So here comes another volley. We'll see if we get a direct hit, but it doesn't kill any models, so that's really unfortunate. The Rusty Arrows are going to start showing themselves, but yeah, keep in mind, guys, these guys do have Silver Shield, so if he is shooting at the Aspiring Champions, they're not going to take that much damage. You can see that we finally do get a good hit on these Black Orcs, but yeah, I feel pretty confident with my Trolls and Weird Spawn that we should be able to do a little bit of damage. You can see these Aspiring Champions are going to come up here. We're going to be able to glob all these people up, and this would be a really good shot for my Hell Cannon if I'd have been paying attention. Front lines are going to collide. You can see my opponent is going to push Wog, which is going to give him some really good combat stats. And yeah, all across the front line, guys, we have Aspiring Champions and Trolls fighting Black Orcs. We got the Arachnid Spider fighting amongst the Weird Spawn. And yeah, it's just a big old mosh pit of damage. You can see that I do come around flanking with these Marauder Horsemen. I was trying to get into these guys without getting hit by his infantry, and yeah, so far it is working. You can see that the Dragon Ogres are going to come to start dealing with the Arachnid Spider. He doesn't have anything supporting it, so yeah, that's a really good engagement for me. And you can see that the Hell Cannon is opening up on the Rusty Airs, so yeah, we're really trying to focus those guys down. You can see I am going to get a charge in with my Cav 2 since he didn't have any troops to protect it, and we'll be able to really shut those guys down. Now my opponent does have these units right here. These guys are providing some overwatch, and yeah, I think they're trying to shoot the Dragon Ogres, which is a pretty good choice. You can see we are screening off all his archers, though, guys. So we're really rampaging through the back line. You can see my opponent is keeping his nasty skulkers here in reserve, but he really needs to get those guys in the battle as soon as possible. Here in the main engagement, guys, you can see that the Chaos Cannon does shoot into these other Orc boys, so we pretty much just shut down all his back line. Now, they are Greenskins, so they are going to be coming back. But yeah, the Aspiring Champions guys are doing okay, but they're absolutely getting shredded by the Black Orcs. You can see that I've had a few break off, but yeah, they're aspiring, their leadership buff is going to help these Trolls fight just a little bit longer. Here in the center pocket, guys, you can see that the Chaos Trolls, the Dragon Ogres, and everybody is just fighting in the Arachnid Spider. And you can see he has Here We Go, which was giving him 44 more melee attack. The Chaos Lord is quick on Warzog's tail, so I'm really trying to focus him, guys. He's being really mobile with him, keeping him from landing. And you see that, yeah, the Chaos Lord is going to drop down and try to get that charge bonus off. Over here, the Nasty Skulkers are going to start to attack. You can see they are going to try to escort these Trolls off the map, which is kind of a good choice. These guys do have regeneration, so if he doesn't really deal with them, they will, just keep healing and coming back. And you can see here in the middle pocket, guys, we just have a really big mosh pit of troops. We have the Weird Spawn, who are sundering the armor of these Black Orcs, and the Arachnid Spider. And yes, I mean, we're just really fighting to the death. You can see that my opponent has been really quick about using Warzog, though. He's not letting them stay in combat, but you can see the Chaos Lord is doing a lot of damage. He's really chipping away at him. Balance of Power, though, is smack dab in the middle, guys. I think it has a little bit more of an edge for me. You can see I am going to get a rear charge in with these Marauder Horsemen, and that's just going to help break the leadership of these Black Orcs and these Orc Biggins. You can see that my opponent does have a lot of troops, though, who are coming back from routing. So, yeah, I mean, it's still anybody's game. Balance of Power is in the middle. You can see he does have some Spider Hatchlings who are going to get into my artillery piece, which I do have unprotected. So yeah, that's going to be really unfortunate. You can see I am trying to intercept his archers, trying to keep them from coming back. And you can see this whole game, guys, the Chaos Lord has just been staying on Warzog. Even though he has been getting a lot of his spells off, you can see he doesn't get another Here We Go. We just have a really big lead at this point. You can see we're going to get another direct hit in with the Chaos Soul of Damnation. But yeah, I mean, it's looking really good for us. Balance Power is starting to pull off into my favor, but my opponent does have a lot of units coming back from routing, and if he's able to shut down my archers and maybe start focusing my my Dragon Ogres, he might have a chance. You can see, though, the Arachnid Spider, guys, is getting ready to fall. She's just completely surrounded. You have the Aspiring Champions, you have the Rat Ogres, Weird Spawn, everybody just really making quick work of him. And this whole game, Warzog has just been on the defensive. You can see the Chaos Lord is, been chasing him, and he's been quick on his tails. But my opponent does use the Effigy of a Get, which keeps him from moving. So it kind of buys him a little bit of time to regroup and try to, get his forces back together. You can see I do use my Chaos my Marauder Horsemen to shut down these archers, and we're just trying to avoid his defensive units. But yeah, Balance of Power, guys, is right smack dab in the middle. So it's kind of deceptive. You would think that I would have an edge, but yeah, you can see we are going to get Warzog out of position, guys. We're going to finally catch him, and that's going to give me a really decisive balance of power lead. And yeah, over across the map here, guys, it's looking really good for Chaos. You can see that the Arachnic Spider is getting ready to break. He is into the back here of the Soul of Damnation, which is unfortunate, but yeah, at this point, it's looking like it's going to be a victory for the, I almost said the Druki, for the Chaos. He does have these Goblin Wolf Riders who are shooting into the Trolls, but keep in mind, guys, they are armored. And yeah, we're just escorting Warzog off the map right here, using the Chaos Lord and the Marauder Horsemen just to kind of make sure he doesn't, you know, come back and provide some problems for us. Same with these Marauder Horsemen, we're just going to escort him off the map, and that's going to be a victory for the Warriors of Chaos. So let's go to look at the in-screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys for my success. And yeah, I think one of the big keys for the success, guys, was the Soul Damnation, for one, shutting down that back pressure, and I also think the Aspiring Champions, because they buffed up the leadership of the Trolls, which literally left him in combat a lot longer, because if I wouldn't have had that, these Black Orcs would have just actually just shredded through my front line. Also, we were able to catch the Arachnic Spider out of position with the Dragon Ogres. I mean, I was really patient with them. I didn't let them get shot by the Rusty Arrows, and yeah, that really paid off for me. And also, these three Marauder Horsemen were real MVPs. You can see this one got 155 kills for a 500 gold unit, 155 kills. I mean, we were absolutely just screening his back line. We were pressuring it, and yeah, I mean, as the Greenskins, you really need that arrow line. You really need those missiles to kind of balance things out. The Chaos Lord did his job. You can see he was on Warzog's tail pretty much the whole game. Warzog did get some good spells off. He had some Here We Goes. We had some walls. We had some effigies of Aget, I think it's called, but yeah, overall, guys, the build just worked, and I thought it was kind of cool, and I wanted to show it to you guys. So, all right, it's Atticus. I will see you guys for the next one. Have a good night. Bye-bye.